Brotherhood within his own race. Because if Negroes are created in God's image and Negroes are black, then God must in some sense be black. If the white man has the idea of a white God, let him worship his God as he desires. We have found a new ideal. Because while our God has no color, and yet it is human to see everything through one's own spectacles. And since the white people have seen their God through their white spectacles, we have only outsiders to see our God through our own spectacles. But we believe in the God of Ethiopia, the everlasting God, God of Father, God of Son, God of Holy Ghost, the one God of all ages. That is the God in whom we believe, but we shall worship him through the spectacles of Ethiopia.
To the work, there is room for all, and the kingdom of error and darkness must fall, and the name Jehovah exalted shall be, by the hair of the tidings salvation is free. I, Holy Most High,
Rastafari.
Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for us brethren and sisters to dwell together in unity and love. It's like the precious ointment upon our head that went down unto our beard. Even Aaron's beard and bend down unto the skirts of his garment. As the dew of Hermon, as the dew that descend upon the mountain of God. For may the Lord command it in majesty, blessing, peace, life, and love forevermore. God, Celestia, Jehovah, God, Rastafari. Almighty God, Rastafari, great and terrible God, Rastafari. Jah who seated in Zion and in the ark of all flesh. How thou most high king, Father Jehovah, God, Rastafari. Hear us and bless us, O Lord, keep and sanctify us, God. God, thy holy face to shine upon us, thy children, that we shall be saved and be. O thou most high God, Jah,
Rastafari.
though I my Savior may not see, yet every hour he speaks to me. And since I made of him my joy, oh praise the Lord, I know his voice, I
And I, Celestia. Rastafari.
Bless the Lord of my Lord and praise give thanks for another, our first book study of the year. Give thanks to the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress, Church of True Divine Salvation. Give thanks to the Council of Elders. Give thanks to the Research Action Committee. Thanks for our loved ones in Christ. And we turn it over to the Honorable Royal Director / Chair, Honorable Priest 7, my Lord.
So bless the Lord, honorable priest. Give thanks for the opening prayer. Thanks and glorify each and every one that is here. And give thanks for this moment. Give thanks for the prayer to mark the moment. And give thanks to the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress, Church of True Divine Salvation. We give thanks and glorify all sessions of the Congress. And give thanks to be here, to build upon, the foundation which our Father has laid for us, So with that being said, at this time I will call upon Honorable Empress Maisie to lead us in with the opening chorus. Bless the Lord.
Give thanks, Royal Majesty. Give thanks, for the opening prayer by the Honorable Priest Imsley. Give thanks, my Lord. Give thanks to the Honorable Chair, Honorable Priest Sevens. Give thanks to the first, program of the study group. Give thanks and glorify for all great things set by our Father. Give thanks to life above all things. Give thanks to each and every one that is here and those who's to come to make it, full house. Give thanks and glorify my Lord. Heart of love and blessing. Holy Emmanuel I, Selassie I, Jah. Rasta
Rastafari.
Rastafari.
will now sing this chorus, Majesty. Tell me what more can niggas do? For I say, tell me what more can niggas do? For he laid his foundation and Jehovah and wide the door. Tell me what more can niggas do? For I say, tell me what more can niggas do? For Jale his foundation and he opened wide the door. Oh, tell me what more can niggas do? One more time. For I say, tell me what more can niggas do? For he laid his foundation and he opened wide the door. Oh, tell me what more can niggas do? Oh, in a holy Mount Zion high, Lord, holy Mount Zion, mighty Redeemer, wonderful Savior, Jehovah.
Jehovah, Jah.
Rastafari. My Lord and Empress, blessed love, give thanks.
Oh, bless the love and praise. Give thanks for serenading us, and the backup coming, nice coming to the end there, Yeah, man.
Yeah, me a big backup, yeah, man, big backup.
Yes, the harmonizer, nice, man. Give thanks,
My Lord, give thanks.
Yes. We give thanks and glorify, And as we continue with the procedure of our session, we will read the introduction syllabus in our study group title, EABIC Council of Elders Study Group. The date of this session, what is the date today, my Lord and Empress?
September 3rd.
Right, the 3rd of September, 2024. I cannot see the time on my phone right now. What is this present time right now?
9:14.
All right, so the time of our session in progress is 9:14. The location of our headquarters, 10 Miles Bull Bay, St. Andrew, Jamaica, We give thanks to the foundation, as the Empress now sang the chorus, that was the foundation which the man laid, We give thanks for the headquarters, The administration of the chairman to read the introduction syllabus, which explains what our study groups consist of, which I'm doing right now. to direct the study group into observations and assignments, and to give everyone a fair chance to speak. Administration of the secretary, to summarize the study group sessions and to read the summary when called upon by the chairman, to take notes and request of assignments to research, to regulate the time on statements and declarations of participants, and to take attendance. Administration of participants, everyone who is here, to dialogue and share inputs, to make observations, to read assignments and deliver with inputs, to assist with the reading of literatures, and to have punctuality. Purpose of this study group, to liberate and educate ourselves with authentic clarification, to study within all fields of righteousness and whatsoever is beneficial to humanity. Specific aims and objectives: freedom, redemption, international repatriation, international morality, universal world peace. Our texts and materials: pen and pad, dictionary, all spiritual and educational documents, and our research devices. Our policy is Rastaman policy, peace and love. That is the policy of the study group session as we go along. Rules and regulations: 5 to 7 minutes to declare statements, raising of hands for declarations that may exceed time. Mics are to be muted if you're not speaking. Interject respectively as we dialogue. Full respect and regards to each other's views, expressions, and opinions, my Lord and Empress. So that is the reading of our syllabus, what our session consists of as we go along. You know, when one's come in for the first time to hear, you know, this will have to be read for everyone to understand what the session consists of, you know. So if anyone have any questions to ask concerning that, you know, I'll leave it 10 seconds for anyone to speak. All right, so we give thanks, right? We'll move along. And at this time, we'll ask the secretary of tonight's study group session to give attendance of who is here. Blessed love.
Blessed love, my Lord. Thanks, Honorable Priest, to the Honorable Priest Ainsley. Today, September 3rd, 2024. Roll call. Honorable Priest 7.
Blessed love.
Honorable Priest Ainsley.
Majesty bless.
Honorable Priest Aswad.
Did his call drop?
No. Honorable Empress Miriam.
Blessed love, Empress.
And give thanks for that beautiful rendition.
Oh, give thanks,
Honorable Empress Ray. Honorable Empress Rachel.
Blessed love, Empress. Blessed love, my Lord.
And Honorable Empress Tricia. Let the record reflect that 6 members are present for tonight's meeting.
Give thanks, Honorable Empress, you know, and give thanks for the faithful few, you know, the few within this few that you know, grow and flourish, you know, and give thanks for who is here and who is to come, you know. And we would ask the secretary to read the opening summary so that we could understand what we are really here to do while we go through this literature. Bless the Lord.
Give thanks, my Lord. Blessed greetings to one and all. Opening summary of our first studies group session. Blessed greetings and welcome to all participants and viewers of our first study group gathering. In tonight's session, we will observe different methods of coping with conflicts amongst members of churches. Conflict causes stress. It depletes energy, creativity, and diverts the church from its mission. So, our topic of tonight's agenda will be based on conflict prevention and conflict resolution. First, we will analyze what causes conflicts in churches. Second, we identify the type of conflict. Then we make an assessment of the best strategy to prevent these conflicts from reoccurring, and also practical methods to resolve present-day conflicts. Conflicting interactions can be very overwhelming until we are able to clearly understand and identify the matter of our momentarily conflicts. Constructive solution. We will acknowledge our conflicts by either doctrinal, leadership, personal, or resource. These are the 4 types of conflicts that mostly occur in churches. Some of this information will be taken from the Columbia Theological Seminary and the Birmingham Metro Baptist Association. We ask all participants of tonight's session to exercise critical thinking, creative thinking, communicating, and collaborating. These are the 4 C's of conflict prevention and conflict resolution. Give thanks again for everyone here and those still to arrive as we study, reason, and counsel ourselves to our rights. Give thanks, my Lord.
Royal Secretary, give thanks. Give thanks for the reading of that opening summary, which explains what we are actually about to do, right now. Does anyone have any questions on the summary? Anything to query? I'll leave it 10 seconds for anyone to speak. All right, so I will highlight what was said in the summary about the 4 C's: critical thinking, creative thinking, communicating, and collaborating. Right? These 4 C's are what we use, while we study, while we look into literatures and we try to understand something, try to find a solution, like how we are going to look for conflict resolution. These are the 4 C's that I use within that method there, So critical thinking, this is what it means, the meanings, right? Focus, careful analysis to understand something better, which they refer to as left brain activity. Comparing and contrasting differences between 2 or more subjects. Tracking cause and effect of why something is happening and what has resulted from it. Right? So you see, critical thinking takes a lot of analyzing, comparing and, Creative thinking. Questioning actively reaches into what is unknown to make it unknown. Questioning actively reaches into what is unknown to make it unknown. Seeking information after. Did I say?
Make it known.
Okay, let me repeat that. Questioning actively reaches into what is unknown to make it known. Seeking information after questioning a better way to do something, which they refer to as right brain activity. Understanding the conjunction between 2 forms and functions of something to benefit a specific purpose. Right? So creative thinking must have questioning of what is unknown, to understand and make it known, you know? So this is what we have to do now in this year. It takes questioning. Nothing is wrong with questioning, but we're just trying to, you know, find a better way to do something. Simple as that, you know? Communicating, meaning evaluating messages and declarations means deciding whether they are correct, complete, and reliable, right? So it's in this communicating skill now. When we evaluate things and compare and that kind of thing, whatever we come up with, it has to be reliable. I see that most the stress on the reliability of it. Because it's what worked for we and what worked for them might not work for them, and what worked for us might not work for you. Understand me? So we have to know what works for us. You know, what field we working in, you know. So we must remember that as we find solutions and study, you know, what is reliable for us. Collaborating, meaning leading a group means creating an environment in which all members can contribute according to their abilities. Decision-making requires sorting through the many options provided to the group and arriving at a solid agreed option to move forward. Right? So within collaborating and working together, you know, we'll come through many options that have to be sorted out and looked into. Right? This is what will go on when it comes to collaborating, and that is just what we have to understand. So we say we want unity of different thoughts and all of these, you know, way how you know, different aspects of how people see things, you know. So this is a skill we have to exercise as we collaborate. And if we was in a physical place now, we'd have to work on the environment too. This is what it's saying here, you know, that the environment will be suitable, you know, for all of it. Because right now, in a sense, the virtual environment will make it all suitable for itself the same way, you know. So that is just natural, that is needed, you know. So that is the 4 C's, my Lord and Empress. If anyone have any questions or anything to say concerning that, I'll leave 10 minutes, 10 seconds for anyone to speak. Blessing. Right, so that speaks plainly for itself, right? So at this time now, we'll open up this session to go into the literature, what we'll be studying. And before we actually start to read the literature, as in the opening summary, it says that we'll have to identify, you know, each situation that we're about to read, right? Each different circumstance what we're about to read here, we have to identify it as what type of conflict it is, right? So with that being said, I would call upon the Honorable Secretary to read the 4 different conflicts which will be describing these circumstances. Blessing.
Yes, blessed greetings again, my Lord and Empress. The first conflict is doctrinal conflict. Doctrinal conflict occurs when there is a disagreement over an interpretation. These conflicts can arise from different theological perspectives or cultural backgrounds. Doctrinal disputes can be challenging to resolve because they often involve deeply held beliefs and values. Second, leadership conflicts. Leadership conflicts arise when there is a disagreement or dispute among church leaders or between leaders and members. These conflicts can stem from differences in leadership styles, personalities, or visions for the church. Leadership conflicts can be especially damaging to a church because they can create division and aggregation. Third, personal conflicts. Personal conflicts occur when there is a disagreement or issue between two or more individuals within the church. These conflicts can arise from misunderstandings, personality clashes, or hurt feelings. Personal conflicts can be resolved through communication and conflict resolution strategies, but if left unchecked, they can escalate and cause division within the church. Fourth, resource conflict. Resource conflicts occur when there is a disagreement over allocating or using church resources, such as finances or facilities. These conflicts can arise from different priorities or goals from the church. Resource conflicts and open communication, transparency, and a shared understanding of the church's mission and values. Conflicts can arise in churches, but understanding the different challenges can help prevent and resolve them. By promoting open communication, transparency, and conflict resolution strategies, churches can navigate conflicts and maintain unity and growth within the congregation. Give thanks, my Lord and Empress, and back to the chair.
Give thanks, Honorable Secretary. Give thanks for that reading. All right, so these are the four conflicts that will describe these different situations that we're about to read here. All right, so does anyone have any questions or anything to say concerning the four conflicts which was just read? All right, so
Blessed Lord, my Lord.
blessed Lord.
We can see how these conflicts, all these conflicts can affect how the structure or of a church setting is supposed to go. And
Yes.
like it says, understanding our differences and trying to work together, showing that transparency, it shows how we can maintain that unity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has some good guidance,
Yeah, yes, it does. It really does.
Yeah, yeah.
Precisely.
Blessed love.
How do I see the four conflicts?
Anything to say on the conflicts?
Definitely a way forward. Definitely giving us tools. Because conflicts is inevitable, and there will be conflicts. You have conflicts in your own self every day. So these are some good tools wherein we can deal with the conflict without severing our relation with each other. That's intelligence. Because sometimes we have it in a thing where, like when we disagree with one another, like if we create an enemy. So these kind of tools will give us more understanding where we can even disagree honorably and move forward.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, my Lord.
Yes, Empress Mary. Bless her.
Yes, give thanks. A conflict. Yes. It builds us to work together in unity. You understand? Because when we have conflict with one another, it's not nice. And we are not showing any good workmanship or workmanship within us. And conflict, some people have conflict within themselves. You understand? So they need to sort out themselves and to see how best them can move past the conflict. And so we can reach out to one another and work together, you know? You understand? And get things done. Because we can't make these things hold us down. You understand? Because it's not putting us anywhere. So when we have conflict, we have to know if we deal with it, man. Because there's a lot of conflict right now are going on in the world and among science. My Lord, give thanks.
Yes, yeah, I hear them talk about that conflict there in yourself. And it's number 3 is personal conflict, right? And another sentence would say these conflicts can arise
Correct.
from misunderstanding, personality clashes, or hurt feelings, right? So that's the personal conflicts there. Yeah.
All right.
So
Correct.
yes, my Lord and Empress. So let us go into this session and go into the literature and get a greater understanding of, conflict prevention and conflict resolution. So the first literature we'll be reading from will be taken from, it's a link called Church Administration in the Black Perspective by Floyd Massey Jr. and Samuel Barry McKinney. Right? And one could always click on the link when on the own when they're ready to read the whole chapter. We wouldn't go through the whole thing tonight as we don't have time. We're just picking out a specific part from the article, which says some weaknesses of the Black church. And the reason why we pick out this part, because remember we're dealing with the conflict, we're dealing with the unpleasant things that are going on in the church, You see it? So we'll go straight into the reading. Some weaknesses of the Black church. All right. Is it there on the screen for everyone to see? All right. Yes, my Lord and Empress. Is Honorable Priest Oswald with us? And Priest Oswald read the first sentence. Honorable Priest Oswald. All right, maybe he's not close to his phone or something.
We also have Empress Rachel as Empress Dion online, along with Priest Ike.
Good time. Honorable Empress Dion.
Bless the love, my Lord. Look at me better.
Royal Goddess, can you just read that one point, that first point, and just elaborate on it from your view shortly?
Some weaknesses of the Black church often tends towards an anti-intellectualism, which gives low priority to financial support of education. Come like the question I asked on them, my Lord, which gives low priority to financial support of education, What does Black churches have in place for the youths and them, Hence the reason the youths and them going astray so fast and so wide, because it is often be spoken that is church and state, So the church does always come first. So that is why they just get the brunt of everything. That is why come like they're letting down the future, you know, because they're not giving them the chance, the space, or the time to broaden the intellectual horizon, you know. They're not giving the priority to that. Because I was watching a documentary the other day which they say the Vatican does promote certain movies in Hollywood, but the kind of movies that they just promote, you wouldn't believe is the Vatican promoting that too, you know, as being a church or the head of a church, you know. So low priority to financial support of education because the money not going towards that, but towards folly and fallacism, you know. So that's how I will view that, my Lord. Bless. Give thanks.
Yes, yes, Empress. Give thanks for your point of view. And
Very good point.
yes, what you said was right. You know, just like the question what you asked and the reasoning too, you know. Yeah.
To the chair.
Bless the love on everyone.
My Lord and Empress. What I get from that, you know, is that black people, we see that within our culture, we tend to stress more on the faith, more on the faith, the spirituality, and, you know, balance it up with the support for the practical education. You know that? So, particularly them people, if you look in the ranks, is doctors and lawyers and accountants and administrators, and so they don't lack out that part of the secular world. We in the black church now, we not tend to push that. Well, it's kind of changing, you know, but we not tend, for instance, as a black church, we don't have no kind of a higher education help. What I want to say that we don't have no kind of college programs for our young ones to push through so that they could become intellectuals and professionals and settle for the same kind of economic stability where we have is a kind of a hand-to-mouth, pound the pavement thing. You know, we were push with picnic and we see professional doctors, lawyers, opticians, all these kind of basic needs that we as a people have to go to. And when we check it out, none of we are going to our next race. So you have a portion of Indian dentists. Yeah, see. You know, so this is what I get from that reasoning there. As black people, we tend to emphasize more on the spiritual faith and put that same effort and encouragement to the young ones for the secular knowledge, my Lord and Empress.
Yes, and
To the chair.
bless the love, Empress, mate.
Yes, my Lord, listening to what my brothers and sisters are saying. The black church and the youths them. Well, I've been through a couple of the black church, you know, both in Jamaica and over here in America. And I've seen where they set up things, you know, for the youths. You know, they have program where they educate the youths them. They have time when them have workshop. You know, they have time when they do Bible class studies. You understand? So they're teaching them, you know, of the spiritual background, right? When they grow up. And they're also educating them. You understand? Because I've seen where youths grow up in the church and they come out to be doctors, nurse, you know? You understand? But it's not everyone, it's not every church really take time out to really look at the youths them, you know, and to find time for them. You understand? And to teach them the way of right. But a couple church do it. They have Sunday school. They have time when they do programs, performance. You understand? So there are some churches where Black church will really step up towards the youth, because watch here, the youth is going to be the future of tomorrow. And they know that. And they are getting elderly. They are going to have to push the youths them, in this time. You understand that they can, when they, that they can stand up and defend their truths and their rights. And they're not staying long. But look at my Congress, where when I was young, we had about 50 children, 40 children. And I thought, that the children them would grow up into the Congress and stay into the Congress. You understand? And build it, and strengthen it for the youths them of this day or tomorrow. But our Congress really don't have any children, as my son stated Sunday. So you have to look on it too. And my Congress is a Black church, same way. And there's no youth. Yeah? And it should not be so. You understand? Our Congress should have full of youths. Yes, man. To how much woman and pity did up there. Anyway, give thanks, my Lord, for these few words.
Yes, Mama Mary, give thanks. And it's true words what you speak there, The youth is the future, So if we don't give them that opportunity to improve the intellect in the church, it is going to pressure them when they get older and they have to do things out of the church, So we must have that balance within the church where education is involved. That is what I get, from everyone, what everyone is speaking, All right, so
Yes.
does anyone have any other views?
Yes, I love my Lord and Majesty. Having an internet problem, cutting in and cutting out.
Okay.
Right? So,
Right,
I just want to say concerning a conflict, right? There's conflicts we're dealing with, an organization. Because we as elders, we transmit that traditional knowledge.
Honorable Priest, pardon. Did you hear the sentence read?
No, the sentence.
Right. Let me read it for you one more time. This is a chapter on some weakness, article on some weaknesses of the Black church. And it says, often tends towards an anti-intellectualism, which gives low priority to financial support of education. You hear it?
Yeah.
Right, so.
Sentence.
Yes. Your views on that, my Lord.
Well, you say anti-intellectual. I don't think that is.
Anti-intellectualism.
Yeah, I don't think we are anti. I think we are intellectuals. Not everybody on board is, but we have a lot of barriers in our conflicts, because we have poor communication skill. Sometimes we be failing to understand the conflict, and we look out for unrealistic expectation. So I think the more major thing will cause most of the conflicts and most of the problems is the absence of resources and how we should implement things to deal with the solutions and different behavior. I don't think that we are anti-intellectual people.
Well, what we are looking for is something, as how you now say, something to implement. We are saying that we should implement education more to counteract that anti-intellectualism mentality. right? That the study
Yeah, but
sentence says
what I'm
it
saying,
gives low priority to financial support
yeah,
of education.
that's because of the tradition of the knowledge that we use, and we don't strengthen each other. Education is a big problem, and understanding is another problem. So not to say that we can't have to develop, we have to develop positive attitudes, and we have to be able to practice exchanging of ideas and thoughts and working for mutual benefits, especially when the privilege is granted. I find we have to preserve our traditional cultures and our values, but the key is educational skill and communication skill is important. We have to
My lord.
educate ourselves more and be more realistic.
Yes, sir.
My lord.
Give thanks, Honorable Priest.
To the chair.
Listen.
The anti-intellectualism consists of, you could hear a man making statements to say, we now carry youth to no Babylon school.
Perfect example.
That is the kind of thing where we have that is the anti-intellectualism that is prevailing amongst us as a culture. We don't promote that educational part. We all saying the same thing, as even the priest saying. We have to promote, but this our anti-intellectualism amongst we. A man come down and him have certain education, you start look at him lean. You want to say, well, through him well educated, he might be soft in other ways because him bow. We have that kind of a mentality amongst us.
Yes. That ism is a stigma.
But we cannot allow that to happen. We have to break them barriers. That's how we will resolve anything.
That's
How we
what
will
we're
fix it.
correct. To the chair, and that's exactly what we're saying, that anti-intellectualism, how do we break the barrier from that? Is by allowing, ourselves first to be educated, making certain that our children are well educated. We have a lot of parents that homeschool, and they're doing their best in what they can do to educate the next generation of youths coming up. But we also have ones in our midst that have programs that can assist with homeschooling, and if, like Mama Miriam said, within the Congress itself, there was I don't know if the correct word is a stigma, or there was a fear to learn more, to educate your children more. We're not going to send them to school. We're not going to send them to Babylon. We have this Babylon system thing, but there is good education out there that we can get our children involved in. There are a lot of different programs out there that can be tapped into. I was telling some sisters just today, the public school system uses one set of program, and there are other, like the Montessori, teaching to their children. That's why their youths come out so much more intelligent. They get all the grants to go to college and so forth. So we have to be able to.
We didn't hear
Montessori.
Excuse me? Montessori, yeah. I think they at one point they were doing that Becker book system. The public school system doesn't use that. That means they would draw a graph on the floor, and this is how we learn. We'll go out in nature, and that's how we would learn. But still keeping up with all the mathematics and the different sciences and so forth that have to be learned.
Schoolroom environment.
Correct.
Academical.
Correct.
Yeah. Because we now had to listen to Empress Maisie's testimony, how she had to struggle just to send she youth to school. That is anti-intellectualism right there. What we doing here is what we doing, the method, what we gonna use to break that barrier. But in order to break it, we have to be aware of it and acknowledge this is a thing among three. No, I say we. I mean to say we right here, but the Congress.
Mm-hmm.
As a whole.
Yeah.
Remember when we had the book study, Priest 7 and Priest Aswad, and when Priest Africa come on and talking about we not have to go to school, we not have to send we youth them to school. And you remember that reason, the priest?
Yes, my lord.
That is anti-intellectualism.
We have a lot of-
Anti-intellectualism is hostility and mistrust of the intellect. Intellectuals must hold on to intellectualism and know how to commonly express it.
Mm-hmm.
The person who oppose an intellect, like you were saying, a man bright and a man smarter than the next man, like how we might speak, and people might jealous him for that. They're just the ones who lack understanding. So the communication skills, a poor communication skills problem, because we mustn't feel that we children can go to school and go to this and be educated with the finest, with the Montessori schools or whatever.
We don't feel so precise, but have man amongst we who go on like that.
More about 80%.
Right.
Well, yeah, when I say that, but I give thanks for the sister in them who realize that they can teach their children in their spaces, and at the point when they're ready to move on to a higher learning, that they're not afraid to allow them to move on. So I give glorifying that, because you know the trend is being set by those sisterins, and those are the ones that we need to look at and to assist
Natural,
in
we said
every
it.
way.
Because no action is judged by its intention. And we're not throwing no stone on nothing. Well, I'm think fall out. Yeah. But a lot of people now, the reason why they would have homeschool their youth is because they say they don't want to send their youth to no Babylon school. That is one of the reasons that enough people doing that. And school involves much more than just reading and writing and arithmetic. It teaches the children first and foremost how to socialize, how to get along with their peers, how to play together. Playing is so very important in a child's life. So we had to identify all these things. We glorify the empresses and them who is homeschooling the children, but do it for the right reason. Because you could only do it to your level of understanding and education. And then time will come, you have to send them out to school where they could get a higher education. So do it for
And I
the
think
right
these
reason.
sisterins, and I do think these sisterins today have that understanding. I know that's why I say I
Rastafari.
like glorifying that, because I do think, you know, we have sisterins right here in the Council of Elders who have done that, who are doing that,
Who are
and
doing
who
it,
have
not
done
try.
that. And they have done it. They have allowed their youths to go out and socialize and get higher education. So we give thanks for them too, you know.
Chair. Bless the Lord.
Chair.
Bless the Lord, Empress Mary.
Yes, I'm just gonna say, back into the days, I homeschool my children, and it was 5 of them, 6 of them, right? And when them reach up to the teens, I send them out to Babylon, but they were well equipped, right? Because they know the right from wrong, and they know what to partake in and not to partake into, right? And as a mother, when they came home from school, I take time out and I sit down with them and I go through their books, right? And I read whatever work they write and so on. And we talk about it. So my children was well equipped. And so they start from the primary right up to university levels. My kids them pass them junior exam to the permanent high school, pass them CXCs and go up to the university level, and they didn't do basic. I was the one that taught them the basic, the primary, and them take it from there.
And
So we the
and
mothers,
and we glorify, but
yeah,
Mama,
we the mothers,
also
I pray thee, we the mothers can do it. We can start our children up. We can give them the ground foot,
Yes.
right?
correct.
So when they go out there, they understand and they can take care of themselves and carry on. Give thanks. Go ahead,
That's
Sister
right.
Trish.
And there's this new math out, um, the way that they do division. Not even me understands that, and there are a lot of youths today. So things are evolving. The way we learned how to do 1 + 1 or 2 × 2, and 24 divided by what, it's so different now, the way that they're doing
Methodology.
it.
Different
They
methodology.
would, they're really
But
changing up the way that they're teaching the children now. So we still have to make sure
right.
that our children are
Yes.
on top with that,
And one more point I would like to make, because
trigonometry.
even the brethren and them in Africa right now, who even getting a piece of land. And I said that when I come down in Trinidad and see Walk Trace, it have so much children and it don't have one playground. That is important in the development of a child.
Correct.
When we have a piece of land and we building up tabernacle and kitchen, we must have a nice playground where the children them can go play. Play to a child is like work to a man. It's
But I
essential.
don't, I don't go to say that don't stop playing.
The
Energy
culture
like
was,
that.
see, the
Correct.
culture was, you see, priest, that's one word. The culture was, if you give them a ball and then kick it, they kick in Marcus Garvey head. That was the culture that, yes, they kick in Marcus Garvey head. So these children, my children, then my son, never get an opportunity to exercise himself as a youth, what youth to do, to grow up, right? And when him turn big man, right? Them turn big and understand, so they can't keep Marcus Garvey head. Because Marcus Garvey have his head, right? They understand, so not go so. So all the things that wasn't right, in part, to I majesty. You understand? Yeah.
37, maybe.
Okay.
37, I
That's
pretty.
it.
Maybe one of
That's
our
it.
next, study group can be on taboos, because there's a lot of taboos that are going around,
All right.
don't walk on
Yes.
that, so might be something good to touch on.
Yes. We'll make a note of that, right? All right, my Lord and Empress. Yeah. So I think we reached a good valid point, where is that we have to take education into our own hands and even be creative from homeschooling. Education, it could be anywhere. It could start from anywhere. So better you choose to start it from in the home, from in the family, as Empress Maisie made the example of her testimony, right? And that would show how we embrace ourselves as intellect from early child age, you know, and that will as I say, give us that financial support in the future, through our intellect and education. And also we have to make an assessment of this, right? And identify this, what type of conflict come out of this, And I see this as a resource conflict, right? Why? All right, listen to this. Resource conflicts occur when there's a disagreement over allocating or using church resources, such as finances or facilities. So that is how the priest was talking about having a playground. Some might say don't have no playground in the camp, and you know, so that would have caused a conflict right there. Some might not want to much say nothing because you know you don't want to go against you know what is said. You know, so this is a resource conflict here where we don't want to use our resources for educational purposes and that kind of thing. We're not taking advantage of our environment, you know. So and it might have some personal conflicts also within that
I
too.
think
Before you say the personal conflict, and I might have some misunderstanding with
to the chair.
personality
Okay, right. I was
clashes.
just gonna ask that question.
Yeah. Yes. Go ahead. And Patricia, yeah. What's the question?
Yes, I also leadership. Yeah.
Yes, it's a leadership conflict too. And Patricia, like she's having some
Honorable priest.
difficulties.
I pray for that.
Right. Yes, you were saying you've seen it as a
No, I was
leadership
saying
conflict.
it can, yeah, because is the leadership is who determines how things are, how things go, how
Right.
things are run
Right.
in
Yes.
in a space or environment.
Right. Leadership conflicts arise when there's a disagreement or dispute among church leaders or between leaders and members.
And members, right?
Yes. These conflicts can stem from differences in leadership styles, personalities, or visions for the church. Right? So you hit it on the nail there, because sometimes we have a different vision. We might have a vision of just, you know, going to church alone. You know, some might have a vision of economics, some might have a vision of education, but it's all in one. This is why our thing is statical, churchical, governmental, parliamental, sabbatical. It's all in one, not just the church alone or the Sabbath alone. Even though the Sabbath is the foundation, you know. But it's not just that alone. 6 days work. That is the Lord's command too, you know. The man say work 6 days and the 7th day your rest will be blessed because you work. You see it? So it's just that, you know. Yeah, so we see three conflicts that would arise from this. So I think we gave a good understanding of how to resolve that conflict of, you know, intellectualism. Yeah, I think we gave a good
How your solution is? What is your solution that you say for that? What everyone says.
Yeah, I agreed with I put what everyone says is what I would have said. You know?
But,
yeah.
But I would like to say,
be creative with your education from the home, in the family, wherever it is there. You know?
Yeah, next question.
I would like to say something, right? We had to go into our creative solution. What they call that? Brainstorming. Because the problem is people taking on problem. People don't want to send their children to school. If children get a scholarship, Bobo Shanti think they are something different to the rest of the world, and we reject the whole world. And that is causing a problem with us getting the education and our children getting the better education to move forward in life. Because the whole thing is out of control. Because we first have to understand the nature of the conflict. And then we could go into it deeper. We can't just say, all right, we're not sending every school to this college because there's a white man college or this school. So it's too much of differences, too much of little petty things in our head today that we have to leave alone and move forward to be better people and educate our children and push them, because we know the problem with the intellectualism. We know what caused that, because people just want to stay back and don't want to push the children to go hard in school, regardless of the school uniform they have to wear or whatever. We have to break the barriers. I see people in Ghana, Bobo Shanti children, wearing school uniform and going to school. So we segregate and we stay away from people too much. And this is a time for us to mingle and associate with people collectively and evaluate our options.
My Lord. Give thanks, honorable priest. As you have the floor, I would like for the eye to take the next point. If you can read the next point and give your view upon it. All right, we made an assessment of the first point there already. And we see it have 3 types of conflicts from that there, right? So, honorable priest, you can read the next point. If you can see it on the screen. Priest Oswald.
Unmute your mic.
The one with experiencing daily
Yes,
confrontation.
Yeah, you can read it. Go on.
With needs.
No, read it over. Start it over.
Experience daily confrontation with needs to incommensurate You all hear me?
All right. Yeah, we hear you. I don't know why you stopped. Read it. Start again. Read it.
Read the next one too. Read that one alone.
No. Yeah, just read that one alone. Read it alone. Start it over. Read it so we could hear it. Going for glasses or?
Experience daily confrontation with need
incommensurate
the resources available.
What resources are available?
This is saying we need to, through our daily confrontations, we need to incommensurate with resources available. So with our daily confrontation, we have to be able to know what it will cost, how much resources we might have to commence with doing something to build back ourselves, to keep our resources. We have to use our resources in the situation of our daily confrontation.
Mm-hmm. In other words, we
to give us the availability of whatever resources we need to move forward.
Yes. In other words, we have to work with what we have and make the best out of it.
But that's what I was saying just now in my reasoning just now, that we need to know how we go deal with conflicts. And we need to understand the nature of the conflicts. So the nature of this one is we have to get resources, the resources we have. We have to make sure it is available to fix whatever daily confrontation we are facing.
Right. So it comes like you identify the conflict, same time there's a resource conflict. You know?
We have to experience our daily confrontation. We need to commence on whatever we are doing, whatever resource, how we make money, whether it's agriculture, whether it's sewing, whether it's by a job, to give us the available resources so that we will help our confrontational experiences.
And to the chair.
In other words, blessed love.
Yes, simply meaning, our income, what your resources, your income, have to be equal to your wants. You can't want something that you can't afford. You can't have something that you can't afford, you know, so whatever it is that you need have to match with whatever your income is. So if the income, if the church doesn't have resources, then how can things be accomplished? You know, how can you get a schooling, or how can you get a playground, or how can you get, you know, anything? How can you help the elders if you don't have the resources to do that?
Yes. And that is why we
basically what that
experience,
means.
and that is why we experience daily confrontation, because we have these needs and it don't match up. You understand?
To the chair.
Our resources, yes.
Incommensurate, not in keeping or in proportion with. So the daily confrontation is coming because we're not keeping up. We not work with the resources we have. We're not keeping up. We're not working with what we have. Sometimes we're thinking bigger than what we have. So we have to keep up in proportion with the resources available so we wouldn't have daily confrontation. That's why we have any daily confrontation. Because we're not keeping up in proportion with the resources that is available.
It's like we're not budgeting.
We're not budgeting.
Oh, you're not, it's not even, my Lord, it's not even also that you're not budgeting, you're not even building your economics.
Yeah.
Yeah, because economics is the backbone of the economics is the backbone of the problem. Well said, Empress. Because our income is, as you say, Empress Trisha, cannot be affordable to what we want to do. We want to do things that are more than we can afford to do. So that's a big problem there.
This is why we need to do things like everyone put up at $10 or some kind of those little kind of things, but you keep it consistent, something that you can handle that will grow. That is an example, right? There are many things we could do, you know. But what I make that example is something that all of we could do. You understand? Which will eventually increase our resources, increase income, so that it could at least buy food for the universal, you know. You could get some paint to paint or
buy somebody school books or something.
School books. It have many things need to be done little by little daily. So that's why I say daily confrontation we have, because we have daily needs, experiences, daily confrontation with needs, incommensurate, right? We have daily needs. And so we end up in daily confrontations over those needs. So we have to, I think it's first to identify our needs as a people, as a nation, as a Congress, as a people living in camp also, identify our needs, right? Look at what we have to work with, what resources we have, we make the best out of that. And we tackle those needs daily. Tackle our next one every day.
Really?
You understand? Because look how much days, 300, I just going to say 365 days in a year. You know? What if we tackle one need every day? You understand? Yes, something.
And when you look at Black churches around the world, you know, the one thing that you see is that the economics is up. Not to say that that's what we are aspiring to, because we know some of the things that they may do, where we hear some of the things that go on in those churches that causes conflict, you know, greed and all these things. But there is something that what they're doing is building on the economics. so that they are able, you know, put aside the conflicting part of it, but so that they're able to build these mega churches and all these different things. But what should be focused on is, if you're going to build all of these resources, then you have to give back. You have to have housing for your people, you know? You have to be able that your elderly, whether they're sick or not. So there's something that is being done, and maybe it's that they're paying tithes.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that's a good idea.
That was the idea from from that is our tradition, you know, my Lord. That's the pay
Yeah,
tithes.
pay at least a little $10 every
think about-
week, everyone.
But you want to
think
make sure
about-
that the money, the resources are being used where they're supposed to be used.
Right. That's the next side of it.
Yeah, that's exactly. Because we all can pay tithes, but we want to make certain that when we pay tithes, the hungry are fed, the sick nourished, each protected, and so forth, you know?
Right. So that is why it must be in our needs, you know? Yeah. It must take care of our needs. When we pay tithes and everything that we do to bring a betterment, that is what it should be for our needs, to take care of ourselves, to better ourselves as a people, as a nation. Blessing.
I also remember that these churches tap into resources outside of their membership. They tap into grants and all these different things, you know, and that's how they are able to flourish, with the lack of a better word, flourish the way they are flourishing. You know, we don't want to be greedy, but we just want to make sure that our needs are met.
Yes. Yeah, everyone have their way of doing things if they want to, you know, work with the government and certain things. That's their way, you know. But you know, we have so much strategy of self-reliance and, you know, self-awareness. If we really tap into that, you know, I feel we could have that and more. Is Africa we going for that anything to build up out there. We higher lads, you know. So all right, we identify that conflict there, and I think you know we made a good assessment. Yes, of how to resolve that type of resource conflict. You know, how to deal with our needs. I think we gave a good assessment, right, my Lord and Empress? Right, so we can move on to the next point. Honorable Empress Rachel.
Bless the love, my Lord.
Bless the love, Empress. You can read the third point.
So some weaknesses of the Black church. So we have here again, lacks in too many instances trained and / or committed leadership. So we're looking at here that could fall under personal and leadership, because you lacks in too many instances trained and / or committed leadership. So I will go there. Blessed love.
Yes, good thanks. Yes, this one kind of speaks for itself, you know. You know.
Correct.
And the fact that it said many instances, that means it's a repeated thing. You know, it's a thing where we're lacking in many. It's another daily thing, right? Where we see we need someone in a leadership position to do something, and we don't really have that more time when things arise. Or
But do
sometimes
you,
someone would just jump up and take the position just like that. Bless the Lord.
I would say, you know, in this council of elders, let's use the council of elders. I think that there are a lot of committed, strong leadership in this council. What I think is the problem is that there are too many people that are negative on the outside because some people are afraid of growth. Some people are afraid of change, and we know that change is inevitable. You know, it's constant. But I see within the Congress itself, and not even only in the Council of Elders, there are a lot of good leadership, but because of past behaviors and past disagreements, it stagnates the growth of the leadership, of them coming together. You know, everybody staying in their own space.
Well,
I don't know how others may see it, but
I listened to an intellectual person speak about a leader, comparing a leader and a manager, right? And a leader is a person who makes change, who makes a difference. Because to make a betterment, more time you have to make a difference. And difference, to make a difference, you have to make a change. But the manager now, the manager, he's the one that manages what is there. Mean to say, when you manage what is there, you're maintaining what is there, you're keeping it as it is. You know, you don't let it drop, you don't let it rise, you just keep it steady as it is, you know, and it doesn't really flex, it is not really flexible, you know. So that is the thing now. That is the leadership that we need, that we're supposed to have, right? If we just manage the thing, it is going to stay stagnant, just as it is, or how it was, or how, you understand?
correct.
Right? Yeah, so that is the difference within leadership and managing, you know? This is why we lack that leadership. Bless the Lord, please.
My Lord. I could put it this way: leaders set policies, managers manage the policy. But I believe what is some of our holdback is our methodology. We have leadership aspirations and we have leadership qualities. Now is our methodology where we had to get what method we use to project that leadership qualities to that moving forward, because we know it's not a one-man show. So we are all leaders in our own essence. But what methods that we are going to use, as if they say, even from the point one to come right here where we're at right now, I think our biggest, what we have to learn is methodology. My lad.
Well, this is why it says train. Train.
Right.
Lacks in too many train committed leadership.
Right. Right.
You understand? Yeah, so this is a process with things. With everything is a process, man. You see it? So we have to train and discipline ourselves to be leaders.
Right.
You see it? And that training could be passed on to ones who behold and witness what we do same way, you know? So yeah.
And I think where we get that, where we get in that training, what method we gonna use to train ourselves.
That is the next thing.
we had to form an approved method. That is what we actually doing here now. We had to set the methodology forward. We had to
Educating
set that
ourselves.
process. Yeah. And to the as the stone was dropping the river and ripples ripple out. You know? So we had to teach ourselves these ways, these methods, and prove it amongst ourselves. That's why we have to give thanks to each other and prove it amongst ourselves that it's provable, it's workable. These methods are workable. So as our priests and fathers want this instant unity, and we for call headquarters and we for reason out that we hadn't stretched out still. But what we is doing here is creating methods that we could even approach them and tell them about their own self in a highway. Because we got to talk about conflicts, we got to talk about things that it will apply to each and every man. I'm thinking, man, would I say, yeah, no, that's serious thing that, and look to move forward. So we're creating that methodology with ourselves right here to move forward. My lord.
Yes, sir.
It makes sense, what I say?
Yes, sir. Yeah, man.
Chair, my lord.
Yes,
Everyone say, right?
Yeah.
But what I had to go back to what I said before, we must understand the nature of the situation. So there'll be a conflict, and the conflict is caused a disagreement. Because we end up with being both sides. 6 of us could be in a meeting, and 3 of us could agree, and 3 of us could disagree. But we have to come to one thing. What we're lacking is understanding. When we understand the nature of the conflict, then we could do what we have to do. People now, when they're in a leadership position, or secretarial or management, or however they might be, they tend to change and control people. And you can't control people that way. Only one thing you could control is yourself and your attitude. So we have to understand the interests and identify the concern, desire to make
But
things
priest
right.
as well. But priest as well. Question. But a strong, committed leader, right? Like you said, you have a group half for against. A strong, committed leader can put a point across to bring a change in that conflict between those who is for and who is against. And that's I think that's where we at right now. Strong leadership, committed leadership, trained leadership, because it's not every great leader is quote unquote trained in the college setting or the degree setting or what have you, but because of their commitment to a cause and their vision to that cause. Take, for instance, the Woman Freedom Liberation League. The commitment of Mama Miriam, the commitment of Empress Dion. I am here in these programs to make certain that we reach out. You know, the Council of Elders always reaches out to everyone. We go through different topics every week, you know, to help train the brain to think outside the box. Instead of always being so closely knitted and, you know, not only tunnel vision and seeing what you want to see, but we go through different levels of training. So we have good, committed leadership within our circle. Now, what we just have to do is make sure that we continue to move out, meaning to bring in others, to show them who we are, what the Council of Elders stands for.
Yes.
Give thanks.
Give thanks, man. Yes, my Lord and Empress. So I think we made another good assessment there. And as the Empress Rachel did read, and she to refer to personal conflicts. And I'm seeing here where it says
And leadership.
personal conflicts and leadership. Yes. Personal conflicts can be resolved through communication and conflict resolution strategies, which is what Priest Ainsley was talking about, creating methods, you know. And then it says, but if left unchecked, they can escalate and cause division within the church. Right, so that explains, you know, why certain things that happen, certain conflicts that arise, you know. All right, so.
And why that escalated because of the understanding of the nature of the conflict.
That's my Lord.
Somebody will take it different. Some people take it how they want to take it. Some people could reject a good solution to the problem. So we must come to that understanding. I see what everybody's saying, everybody making sense. We all making sense, you know, but we have to get to the point of understanding the nature of the conflict and what are we going to do to create a solution.
Yeah.
How are we going to work this out? How are we going to control things, control everything that is in front of us? That we're going bad and that way is going good. So,
all right, so yes, my Lord and Emperor. So I think
leadership.
Yes,
leadership conflict.
Right. So it says here, leadership conflicts can be especially damaging to a church because they can create division and undermine the trust and unity of the congregation. You see it? Yeah, so we see how the information relates to what we are saying. And not only to what we are saying, but what we know as our internal, you know, issues, you know, within the Black church, within I Black church, you know. Yeah. So I think we made another good assessment there, you know, to resolve, you know, that leadership conflict and that personal conflict. You know, you need trained leaders, you know, and you know, if you're not trained, you begin training, and within that process, you know, you see yourself as a leader, because no one will really make you leader, you know. Yeah, that is anointment. Yes, some get anointed with oil and this and that and that, you know, but yeah, you know, to be an anointed one and receive that Christ consciousness, as the individual have to go into the self and accept it. No one couldn't give it to you, you know. And when you receive that consciousness, you know, you must, you know, see yourself, that individual, yourself as the leader. As Jerry Priest say, that say every man is a God for themselves, right? And how you carry the God, so the God will carry you. Right? That is very, 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 very deep. That culture there. How you carry the God, that's how the God carry you, you know? So that's my Lord and Empress. We made a good assessment there, you know? All right, so we'll move on to the next point. Honorable Priest Ainsley, you want to take this one?
Tends to nurture a sense of insecurity that disallows intra and interdenominational cooperation.
And so nurture a sense of insecurity.
So the How I see that is that the intra and interdenominational cooperation is like how we cooperate with all the different fractions, the different branches, collaborate and coordinate. If it's an international congress, it kind of tends to nurture a sense of insecurity. That is come like we kind of not trust one another. We don't have that interdenominational cooperation. I don't see Bahamas and Trinidad really have that link. Trinidad and Jamaica, we don't see that international link, that cooperation with each other is on an individual tip, but as a Congress, when we first rise up in Pune, we used to have enough communication with the rest with headquarters. You always write letter and you always answer it. Now look at how it go. We have Zoom and all kind of things now, and we don't really have that connection with each other as a group. We might communicate individually. What kind of conflict that?
Well, that I see that one as a doctrinal conflict, right?
Definitely.
Now, when remember it tends to nurture a sense of insecurity, right?
Right.
So which means that some of us feel insecure
Definitely.
about it come like to go and present yourself and you're feeling nervous because of whatever thing. You see, what I think this bring that insecurity is when you don't really understand what you're following in. It have a thing called blind faith.
Yes.
Right? If you don't understand what you're following, sometimes you cannot even much explain it to people properly.
Yeah.
And you just have to give that frivolous approach now. So when you're in a position like that now, it will be hard to interact interdenominational, right? With that mean when you say interdenominational, it have plenty different denominations. So it could refer to amongst itself and also how we interact with people of
other school of thought.
Denomination.
Right. Yes. Right. And that is why I say it's a doctrinal conflict now. It is our it's the way how we get kind of conceited about our doctrine. And when you check it, you're conceited about something that you still don't fully understand because you cannot explain it properly to a person outside of the culture.
And this
right?
phrase, what we just say, highlights it and put gate food the people who stand above all organizations. That phrase there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see that phrase there? I always see that phrase as a phrase meaning to say what we are aspiring
To be.
Yeah, the glory of the kings. You understand, the rulers of the world, right? So that is a phrase we have to fulfill and manifest. You understand?
Well, mankind take it so though.
Yeah, well that was so that is the conceit. When you get conceited now, right? And you get boastful, because that is what they call pride, my lord and empress. We hear about the the good side of pride, African pride, and you have pride in yourself, pride in your righteousness. But when you get conceited now,
False pride.
you reach the false pride, which is a bad thing. You understand? So we have to stay level-headed. We can't let the seesaw go all the way on the next side. Instead, have to stay level-headed. See it? So when you get conceited, that is what would I even end up in insecurity same way. You see it? Yeah. So as it the scripture say, in that humble himself will be exalted, and them that exalt themselves will become a base. So I have to humble ourselves, man, and not going like we better than the bald head. Just say this right is for the bald head, the comb head, the soul head. You see, the man said God and flesh.
Look like the time when we was going on the Emancipation March, and somehow they wanted we to be, I think was last, if I'm mistaken. Enough man vex because they want to be first. We stand above all organization, my lad. And then I say, man tell me that personally. And I say, I say, my lad, it's only the one who bringing up the rear in army business. You want a strong man bringing up the rear.
Yeah.
Because you have your back.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So, yeah, we just have to have a balance.
Yeah.
Yeah, amongst flesh to flesh.
Yeah.
Regardless of what. Yeah. Like all the false pride,
A man come up, your first time you see a man, and him have on him turban, and you want to know who put on him turban. You know say, and according to what he tell you, you done ready for tell him, well, you have to take it off and let it put and let it put on, whatever excuse. But in the whole run, it's showing you say, well, who gave you that wasn't worthy? You have to come with the real one, them they who worthy to give you a turban.
And when the turban in the heart,
Natural.
Is the seal
natural. You meet a man who you never see him have on a turban. Give thanks, you go wonder where you come from, man. But you're not querying him to beat him down. You're querying him to glorify how Jah 4 wings of earth.
Yeah, God and flesh.
You see?
Yeah. Right,
but
so
a lot of why and I what we just deal with is exploitation instead of negotiation. And we have to start with the points, and we have to start with people thinking different. We have to come to one understanding. We have to observe one another behavior. We start with our behavioral patterns and we go deep. And it starts with the individual.
Yeah.
Once the behavioral pattern is observed, it is crucial to maintain. But we must be fair, respectful, and have a communication style that is professional, my Lord and
Master. Yeah. So we say, make behavior be a savior, That's it. So.
Where you say that?
I said it, the culture say make behavior be a savior.
Okay.
Yeah. Once a man changes behavior and we come to understand each other, that is the key, It's simple and right there in front of us. Why the conflict?
Yeah. But as is a doctrinal conflict, right? So check it here. Doctrinal conflicts occur when there's a disagreement over the interpretation of scripture or church belief system.
Or school or state or government or anything. How we just take it and we just mix up everything in our ball and feel we can dictate because The above thing get the people head, you know, the above, and you ain't
Right,
above no
well,
one.
well, here what it's saying now, these conflicts can arise from different theog- the- theological perspectives or cultural background. So
Exactly.
that was said the theory that ones have is different perspectives it coming from, you know, right? Everyone have a kind of different perspective how to see it. Um, you know, who don't want to rally with this one because we believe Bobodas do this and we just eat that, so we can't do that with them, and they just do that, so we can't go there. And you understand? Yeah, is the belief, the different perspective of how different ones see the doctrine, right? Someone sees certain doctrines very strict, very strictly, right? When others might not see that so strict. You understand? Some might say it might use it in a rigorously strict way, right?
Perception.
Yeah, and that is because how they see the doctrine. The doctrine is so, you know, as a stern approach to the doctrine. Then very even, and when I say rigorously, that means they will hurt people's feelings, and even if someone is physically ill or some kind of thing, they might even leave you in that situation there because of the doctrine that they believe in. You understand? So this would have caused other ones to feel like, you know, I couldn't really deal with that kind of way of living because how them live. You understand? So yeah, we have to try and in other word compromise that someone doesn't always want to do. You understand? But compromise. We all living in the same earth. We all breathing the same oxygen. What if we had to compromise to breathe the same oxygen? What position would we be in, my Lord? If we had to make a compromise, you see it's really there for we. You understand? But these things now is a choice. We have to compromise to bring a betterment, not just for ourselves, but for humanity, right? Because we is international world peace. We trying to achieve. All right. So
I'd like to say something on that day. I think instead of saying, I think we should also specify the values and responsibility of the situation.
explain, my lord.
I
Explain.
see, huh?
I'll explain, my lord.
Yeah, it should also, we should specify the values and the responsibilities of the situation, and we do what we have to do and make a scope statement. There's so much things we have to do to get right, but it's simple, enough, right in front of us. Right in front of us. And it's realistic. We can reach it. Our expectations, we can reach it if we go about it in the right way.
My lord. Yes, my lord and empress. So we identify this as a doctrinal conflict that disallows interdenominational cooperation, right? So as we say, we cannot the assessment we come with, we have to humble ourselves, not to say we're better than, you know, the people in Africa who we want to go and live with. You understand, who might be of different denomination, and you know, are we better than the people who we are right here breathing the same oxygen with? You understand, who if we fall down and bump we head, we want them to pick we up and help we up. You understand me? We're all living in the same, you know, humanity circle, you know. You see it? 'Cause this is how His Majesty is speaking. His Majesty is a universal man, a human rights man, you know, a humanitarian man, you know. Him is not national really, you know. Yeah, universal, you know. So and I give thanks that we could you know, look at this way of this type of assessment here, you know, to really solve bring a resolve to this conflict, this doctrinal conflict. Right, so we could move on to the final point. My Lord and Empress, was the assessment good? The fourth
Yes,
point.
I.
All right. So the final point. Who didn't read? Honorable Empress Trisha, you want to read it?
Tends to rely on an oral rather than a written record of organization and administration. Tends to rely on an oral rather than a written record of organization and administration.
Yeah.
How would we
What's
read that one?
what's up? Yeah.
We just going by word of mouth.
Let's hear from the reader first. Let's hear from
Yeah. No, freedom.
the
I like the
yeah,
I like the lines where you're going there. You know, we going by word of mouth and sometimes not going by doctrine.
Yeah, or administration, that's exactly what you just read.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't study word of mouth unless we investigate it and it's authorized.
Yeah.
A lot of
And
data say, and data say.
oh, I see it as a plague in the thing, you know, the just say and the just say.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes John never really says a man who say. You understand? Yeah. And the thing about it is say rely, you know, we tend to rely on that. What come out of the mouth. Other than setting an official record of organization and administration. We rather rely on what people tell you around the corner and this and that. And some people tell you the truth and they mix it up with truth and false. Truth and false so mix up in one and that's how you get it.
They falsify the truth, so it's not truth.
Falsify. You see it? So yes, I see that as a doctrinal conflict. Because most of the time the hearsay is the doctrinal, you know. Because they say, well, the doctrine said this. When you say just say, it's like saying the doctrine saying it, or the culture saying it. You understand? And that is how it is go more time. I want to say, my Lord, Bobo don't do this, Bobo do that. Remember, Bobo don't wear that, Bobo wear that. You understand? So, and then it become a trend now. It become a trend and it take kind of root in certain people and people have it like, if you do that, boy, lightning are gonna strike you. You know, and it get kind of scary now, like you know, that kind of way. So yeah, we just take it too intense with this oral, you know, this oral thing where we talk to each other around the corner. You know, yeah, I see that as a doctrinal conflict.
The oral literature.
The oral, say that again, my lord.
I said the oral literature just confuse people because man will feel what he says right.
Yeah, and the thing about
some man can't read it, they only argue, so they have real argument to come up with.
And the thing about that, it have many mouths. So you'll hear from 5, 6 different people. So which one right? Now the youth's in confusion. Because they're hearing all kind of oral thing from this one and that, all kind of talk. And they have nothing else to rely upon because, you know, there's not much documented record that is official and solidified amongst us. You know?
Correct.
Yeah,
Because
so
I agree, because the written record has to be at times enhanced to the times that we
Yes,
live in.
updated, yeah.
Updated, so
Things
that
evolve.
causes, right, that causes a that's a whole different conflict within itself. So this could be a whole doctrinal conflict, because
Yeah.
if the written record doesn't reflect the here and now, not dispelling the past, but just updated to the future, then that ones listen more to the oral rather than the written.
Right. Yeah.
But there's a conflict there within itself. So most people go, I mean, if it's not written, it didn't happen, but most people go by oral.
Yes. Yes. And I also see it as a slight leadership conflict too, because listen to this. Leadership conflict arises when there's a disagreement or dispute among church leaders or between leaders and members. These conflicts can stem from differences in leadership styles, personalities, or visions of the church, right? So when you have several or many different elders speaking different doctrines that might be at variance with each other, right? It would leave a one who doesn't really understand for sure in confusion now, right? Because they are relying upon what this elder say, and they're relying upon what all the elders say, really, right? So when the oral information comes misconstrued, right, it brings confusion in the house now. It brings misunderstanding and misconception. You see, this is why the oral thing cannot work, because this year a man could say this, and next 5 years and say something different. You see it? Yeah, but the written record, and this is why the written record now, as the Empress now said, that will have to be updated as the years go by.
Like everything
right?
else.
Like
Yeah.
everything else.
Although, to the chair, although we as African people have a strong oral history, you know.
Yeah.
We have a strong oral history. At one time, Marcus Garvey papers, it was banned in enough countries, and in Africa, couple man will memorize the paper, the newspaper, and go on to a village and recite the paper, and that's how they used to get the word across. So we have a rich oral history tradition, and sometimes it works against us.
Yeah, but you hear what you say, priest. You recite from the paper. You understand? So me as a writer now, that is why we just put things on paper to read it over. You know? Because when you can write it, you can lay it out exactly how you want to explain it properly, and you don't miss the details and all of that.
Right.
That's the difference with writing and oral and oral off your head, right? When you just speak freely. You understand? Because I always be more time. We as Bobo, we like to reason. We don't read from no paper. We don't read from paper much. You understand? So yeah, the written record is very effective because it can be recited as explained, described by how the priest has described it there. And it can be orally explained, put on audio for everyone to hear exactly how you want it to be put in place and organized. You know? So I think the solution, the resolution to this is that, you know, we have to step up on our documentations.
Yeah.
Step up on updating them and making them reliable for everyone of the Congress. right? And try to put as much things that affect us. Yes, put it in documentation. Right, so we don't have to
That's what we doing
question.
here, you know.
Yes, sir. We don't have to
That's what we
question
doing
what is
here, you
right
know.
or wrong. Yeah.
To
Yes,
the
sir.
chairman, to the
Change
chair, my
up this
lord. Yeah?
time, you know.
Yes, sir. Honorable priest.
To the chair, we need to detail the scope of our statements that we can set realistic expectations, avoiding misunderstanding and communicating to make changes. So change, as Empress Trisha said, must be always changes. So
Inevitable.
we must detail the scope of our statement that what we are saying about the conflict, and that will help us make realistic expectations, avoiding misunderstanding, and commencing and making changes. So changes is to be written. After we read it and we debate it and we do everything, we have to come to understanding. Everything is there, but if we don't write it, what is right or what is wrong, people will take what they want to take it. But people live in a cliche life. Some deal with facts, some people deal with realistic. As we say earlier on, people change because of theology, people change because of cultural differences. If one churchman and a cultural man get together, you will find argument because they both going in two different directions. And a reason together, you will come to one understanding. Communication is important.
Correct. Very true. And remember what I read about communicating. Evaluating messages and declarations means deciding whether they are correct. You see that? Where we have to humble and say that we're wrong and you're right.
Yeah, you have to break it down.
Yeah, but sometimes we doesn't want to humble like that. You understand? We have to say whether what correct and if what you were saying all the time not working anymore. Admit that is not the correct thing to do right now. In this situation is not the correct thing to do. We have to be able to admit that after we decide whether they are correct, complete, and reliable. You see the reliable? That is very important. What works, what might be reliable in that space there might not be reliable in this space here.
Not sure.
Right? So this is the communication that we have to have about our issues. What will be conducive for a person in that space there. You understand? We have to allow that person there and within adjustments, you see you make an adjustment that is reliable, you know, for everyone, right? For everyone's environment and space of thought and the position that they have to make certain decisions and these things. And we must set things in a way, and it'll take time, you know. Yeah, it's not a overnight thing at all, you know. Just start, you know.
Correct.
So,
There's no way to change a 30-year conflict in 3 weeks. It's a process.
You know, I don't think it will be fair to the just the natural laws too, you know. After all of that, and you just get through so quick, you know. So yes, we have to be determined to fix the problem by documentation, official documentation, you know. And that will be I would say written record of organization and administration.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So yes, my Lord and Empress. So we give thanks, you know. Yes, go ahead, Empress. You want to say
No, I
something?
was just gonna say the same thing. We give thanks because by just like it says by promoting open communication, transfer, which we've been doing, continuing to do, transparency, conflict resolution strategies, churches navigate conflicts and maintain unity and growth
Yeah,
within a congregation. And that's where we are now.
yes, yes.
That's where we are. So we give thanks,
Yes. Yes, my Lord
So
and
I think from what was said tonight, that we will be able to define our goals and plan how we're going to deal, what kind of understanding we will come to.
Yes.
I will repeat it. Define our goals and see what kind of understanding we could come to.
Yes, I think most of the things that we touched on was our goals, which is education for with children, right?
And for all of us.
Yeah, leadership in our church,
Management.
Yes, man. Yes, everything we spoke about, was what we are aspiring to be, So we just have to do, do what we said, do what we know. Because who know better, do better,
All right.
So once we get this word, yeah, let us look into it, my Lord and Empress. Take heed and then adherence to actually do the word, my Lord and Empress. Yeah, so if anyone, we made a good assessment on that, right? We have to have written records, right? So if anyone doesn't have anything more to touch on that, right, seeing that it's getting late, I don't think we'll have time to go into the next part of the session. So I think the session will have to be continued into the next session, right?
All right.
Okay, my Lord. Right. So, give thanks again, my Lord and Empress. May the mile journey start with a single footstep. I give thanks for assessments and identifying conflicts, how to prevent them, and how to bring a resolution to our, daily confrontation. My Lord and Empress. So,
Bless the love, my Lord.
bless the Lord. So, is Empress Maisie still up? Empress Maisie, bless the Lord.
Blessing, I am here.
Oh, right, good start.
You're very quiet.
That sweet voice, you hide with that sweet voice.
Good time to hear the voice,
My
Yeah,
Lord.
so we say we'll continue the session into the next session. So we want to close off here with a chorus of your choice,
Yes, my Lord. Give thanks.
Bless the Lord.
Okay. Get on the glory road. Zion is now. Though that road may rough and steep, that I will carry us through, holding us by his hand, carrying us to Zion. Get on the glory road. All right, say, get on the glory road. Zion is now in view. Though that road may rough and steep, that I will carry us through, pulling us by his hand, carrying us to Zion. Get on the glory road. Yes, get on the glory road. Zion is now in view. Though that road may rough and steep, that I will carry us through, holding us by his hand, carrying us to Zion. Get on the glory road, holding on, holy Mount Zion, 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 I, Lord, holy Mount Zion, Zion. Get on the glory road. Zion is now in view, set the Most High. Selassie, Jah,
Rastafari.
my Lord and Empress, blessed love, give
Oh,
thanks.
bless the Lord and praise. Give thanks and glorify. Most High, Holy Emmanuel, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari, my son, my daughter, my daughter, get knowledge, get wisdom, but most of all, get understanding. For understanding leads us to all fields of right, Most High, Jehovah, Jah, Rastafari. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for us brethren and sisters to dwell together in unity and love. It is like the precious ointment upon the head that ran down the beard, even Aaron's beard that went down to the skirts of his garment, as the dew of Hermon, and as the dew that descended upon the mountain of Zion. For there our Lord commanded his blessing, even life and love forevermore. So hail our God, Selassie, Jehovah God, Rastafari. Our Almighty God, Rastafari, great and terrible God, Rastafari is the Almighty God. Thou who seated in Zion and reigneth in the hearts of all flesh. O thou most high, eternal Father, Jehovah God, Rastafari. Hear us and bless us, O Lord, keep and sanctify us all. Cause thy holy face to shine upon us, thy children, that we shall be saved and redeemed. O thou most high God, Jah, Rastafari.
Rastafari.
Salvation, oh salvation, the joyful sound proclaim. Till the earth remote test nation has learned the Messiah's name, the black God in flesh. Holy Emmanuel, I, Selassie, I, Jah,
Selassie. Yeah.
Rastafari,
Rastafari,
my Lord and Empress.
my
Bless
Lord and
God,
Empress.
Emperor.
Powerful
thanks,
triumph
give thanks.
seven,
Oh,
Lord,
bless the Lord, give thanks, give
powerful
thanks,
majesty,
give
yeah,
thanks.
give
Give
thanks.
thanks for the energy to give me the powers, you know. Give
My
thanks for
Lord,
the
Mighty,
strength of the
mighty.
item, you know. My
yes,
Lord and
Lord.
Empress. Bless the Lord.
My Lord.
Ye servants of God, our master proclaim and publish to all the wonderful name, Jehovah.
My Lord and Majesty.
Give thanks.